Time once again. Welcome back to another BW3 podcast. It is brought to you by Schaefer's Oil and by Algier Performance. Kevin Stubblefield and Brendan Willard. We are back with you after Memorial Day weekend, after a lot of racing at Lucas Oil Speedway, a lot of watching the weather, watching the raindrops, watching the track crew work, and got everything in finally.
Yeah, big shout out to Casey Schumann and the Turners and everybody at Lucas Oil Speedway. They did an awesome job with 9 inches of rain last week and able to get that in. And the racetrack, I mean, most of the time when you get that much rain, if you get a third of that amount of rain, it's a crap show, just a Baja. And it was really for what they had. Thursday we got everything in but the feature. And Thursday, the racetrack was really good. Like, it really shocked me how good it was. Friday, it got choppy, especially at the end, but they did a good job. Like, it rained all night Thursday night, and then it rained. Friday night was okay, but Thursday night rained late, and then Friday after the races, somebody said, hey, it's supposed to rain at like 4 o'clock tomorrow, like 4 to 9. I'm like, I hope not, because I really wanted to go to Springfield. We were just struggling. And I felt like if we could get to Springfield, we could kind of right the ship a little bit. But
Springfield got rained out.
Yeah. So, and then Saturday just rained all day or it rained all late. And it was like you knew the rain was coming. And but Sunday was great. The weather was good. A great crowd. You always wonder how it's going to be when you get pushed back a day like that. But they did a good job of keeping everybody engaged. And it was a great Show Me 100. I felt like that it was a really like a rebound for the Show Me 100 a little bit. So I think that was good. Like, it's, there's some things on the format that I didn't agree with that was Lucas Oil Series decision. Like, I don't think anybody understood the format and how they locked in, and it didn't affect me. Like, we weren't good enough for it to affect us, but I just they need to do a little bit of changing up there. But other than that, like, the racing was great. The racetrack, they made that change this winter with that wall, move the wall all the way around in 3 and 4. And then they're looking at doing that in 1 and 2. And Bobby Pierce just literally just banged the boards for 100 laps.
Slingshots off the wall and gain speed.
Yes, he's so good at that. And he's just unbelievable. And Wild, they struggled all weekend, pull out a backup car for the B or a different car. And I really don't even know if you can call them backup cars. You just pull out your different car. And I pull out a different race car. They just weren't happy with it and light the world on fire. You could tell about lap 20. By lap 40, he was up to, I think, 4th or 5th on that restart there. And I'm like, well, if he's up 15 spots in 40 laps. He's really moving good. And I really thought, though, JD Davenport never uses his tires up. And I almost felt like he had to use his tires up there on the cushion, knowing he knew Bobby was coming, and just use his tires up a little bit. In my opinion, he may have something happen. I don't know. But because he was untouchable there all weekend long. And Bobby, when came time for the big payday, Bobby rose to the occasion, and congrats to him. It's his 3rd Show Me 100 win already, and back-to-back ones. So he's, one of the best in the country right now, and one of the best to ever do it. Just really, really good. And 20 years from now, they're going to look back and be talking about him like they do Moyer and Bloomquist and JD for sure. Yeah,
Josh Rice, he won the first late model. And Pierce was 15th that night.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, JD Davenport dominated what would have been, I guess, the Friday feature.
Right.
And then Rice won the Thursday feature, which is actually after the Friday feature in order the way it went Friday night. But, Davenport blew a right rear tire out and still enough points. He came back through the field, finished 4th or 5th there in that feature. But everybody, I really thought, I'm like, well, this is going to be a 100-lap playground for JD, and it wasn't. So it was a very exciting race. Brandon Shepherd had a great race rolling the bottom. Never left the bottom all night, and I felt like they did a good job of just having a game plan, sticking to their plan, and they did not alter off of it. They knew where their car was, and I think that was one of our problems is we knew where our car was good, and then in the show me shootout, I had to start on the top, and then just didn't give myself patience to get back to where I needed to go, and kind of put ourselves in a bad situation there. But all in all, didn't tear anything up, and we got a lot of work to do. Going to try to test this week and get ready for Iowa.
Interesting comments from Bobby Pierce after he won the Show Me 100 about the condition of the track and where he was hunting for places to find to really run good. That's kind of the interesting difference between asphalt and dirt, isn't it? Asphalt is pretty much, for the most part, a uniform surface.
Yes.
Dirt is a different animal. Then you put rain into the mix also, and then that really throws a wild card into things.
It does, and then like we had our car. I felt like we completely missed the setup for the B on Saturday because they had a lot of moisture in the racetrack, a whole lot of moisture in the racetrack. I'm like, man, this is going to be wide open. One lane can't pass, and it was exact opposite, like almost the slickest it had been all weekend for that B, for the second B on Saturday. And just wasn't ready. We were not ready for that. Like completely my fault, missed the setup. And then, so then for the show me shootout or whatever they call that, I'm like, well, we need to really pay attention to our tires. We made a different tire choice. We did a lot of things different, and it was supposed to be 20 laps. And I knew on lap 1 when we went green, we had completely choked our motor down, fully restricted. And I knew when I come out on the racetrack, we were probably in trouble, but that's all right. We had to, you got to take chances, and you got to, I wasn't happy with our race car all weekend. We had a broke shock that we found Thursday, and it just killed our weekend. We just never were able to get the balance of the car with the other shocks on there. So,
when did it break?
So we checked it. After hot laps Thursday, it broke. Just things happen. I think it got fatigued at Farmington. We had a lot of stuff break at Farmington, and that's where our whole right front suspension broke from Farmington, and we didn't hit anything. It was just that rough, and that is the one thing that. And this isn't a knock at Farmington at all. Like they did a great job. They had 2.5 inches of rain and just what happens. But that's sometimes what you got to think about is, we probably made a mistake there. Probably should have sent the shock off. It checked out okay, and we thought it was fine. We smashed it. Everything looked fine. And then just made a mistake on our end. And that's, really put us behind the 8 ball weekend.
Well, up next at Lucas, we go from one extreme to the other. They're going to have the big rigs out there.
Rigs, yeah. So they got a big weekend for them. And then, this is kind of like regionally, there's a lot of stuff too. There's a revival race at Electric City in Butler. And then an hour away in Valley Speedway is the Heartland Series. And then Heartland goes to Moberly on Saturday, and Revival goes to Caney on Sunday. So very close racetracks to us. We're baseballing this weekend with Braden as our plan. So just we need a weekend to regroup and try to get somewhere to test, whether it's after the races Saturday night at Springfield, depending on Braden's game times or what. But we've got to get a test in before we go to Davenport the weekend after. So a big swing coming up for us. And, our new car we've never had on the racetrack. It's in the trailer ready to go, but obviously need to test it. And then I want to try some things. We're not off very far, just a little bit off with, different tires there last weekend at Lucas. We've been running all year, and just got to get that fixed and be ready to go.
Good Lebanon representation at Lake Ozark on Sunday. Chris Jackson won the Midwest Mods and the B Mod feature both there.
Won both of them. Look at him go. I'm assuming he drove the other car for Carter then. That's pretty cool. Good runs for him, and they had a pretty good car count. Springfield had a huge car count on Sunday as well.
Yeah, they had a big modified race.
Yeah, Caden Stacy got the win in a J2 there, so a big win for him, and really a great weekend of racing locally here for everybody. Just shout out to the racetracks for fighting off the weather. It's a lot of work and a lot of patience, and great crowds everywhere. The campground was full at Lucas, and that was cool to see. And just a lot going on in one weekend.
Tyler Knutson of Lebanon third, and Dayton Newell of Stoutland fifth in that Midwest Mods main at Lake Ozark. Sam Hafertape, he won the 410 Outlaw Sprint feature, and Stoutland's Derek Brown first in the Superstock feature there at the lake.
So we big time our area did well. So no surprise there at all. Derek Brown really good in those cars, and had a great weekend for him. So congrats to him on a great run.
That's quite a final lap at Indy, wasn't it, on Sunday?
Yeah, that was crazy. And Indy 500 the last 5 years probably has really delivered. They got a good package there. The racing's great. Sellout crowd, massive crowd. Just an awesome finish to the race. And
feel for David Malukas, don't you?
Oh, and I don't know, like, I saw they have, Indy's weird. They have like a banquet after the day after, or the Monday after. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, that's such a big event that they actually literally have a banquet for the Indy 500 finishers. And, you know, he said, I've replayed this all night, and there's nothing I could have done different. There wasn't anything he could have done. I mean, you got to give it to Rosenquist. He did timed it perfect, right run at the right time. Those remind you of the races in the 80s at Daytona and Talladega. You know, your Cale Yarborough slingshot down the back straightaway, like just getting a big draft like that and being able to pull out and pass and time it. I mean, he timed it absolutely perfect. Really cool, great finish to a really an awesome race.
Well, it was kind of a week of happiness and euphoria with Larry Phillips going into the Hall of Fame, and then the shocking news of the passing of Kyle Busch. So kind of appropriate for racing purposes, at least. The Memorial Day weekend was kind of rainy because it's kind of like a period of mourning, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kyle, I think he was one of the most misunderstood people, and I'm really happy that you've seen all the good things come out about him this weekend, and what he's done. I didn't have a lot of interaction with him, but we had some. Just, you know, I won my Lebanon and Bolivar Track Championship. That was a KB. That was a Kyle Busch car. Just, he was very smart. Like, that car, that car was the same as what became a Rowdy Manufacturing, and then they changed the name back to Hamke. But Kyle understood race cars very, very well. Was very smart. His cars drove great, and it was, I hate a car that's free on entry on asphalt. Just did not like it back then. And that was the coolest part about that, is finding out that he hated that too. And his cars weren't like that. They were loose. Like, his cars were very free all the way around, and they haul the mail, but they're not really that free on entry. He's got his cars where they'll turn, and like, it was, you have a Hamke car and couldn't make it turn in the center, and then you get a Kyle Busch car, and it's a Hamke center section. We just changes Kyle did to the front end, and it just, that car was able to do. It just drove really well. And then, you know, basically that's the Hamke chassis of now. He just changed a lot of things in the game and the super late model world on asphalt. Like, I feel like Kyle Busch made everybody step their game up from the 2010, 11 time period through 2020, like that 10-year run that he had. Just unbelievable. And the amount of wins he had, 234 wins in the national level, between trucks, O'Reilly, and Cup. It's not even going to be close. Like, it's Richard Petty's
Larry Phillips like.
Yeah, he was Larry Phillips like at the highest level. Like, people got tired of watching him win, literally. Like, it's just like Larry Phillips. And the one thing about Kyle is he was really good to people, and you know, people, you see the young part of his career where he's a jerk in some ways, it looks like, and just mad and hothead and all these things, and you realize that it's just as a desire to win. And then when you talk to the guy, and see how nice of a guy he is. It was very humbling. Like he spent time with Braden and Tony Jackson's daughter Atlee, and was really good to them. And to me, that showed his character, because that was in a spot that we didn't really want to go up and bother him. And then he started talking to us about his race car, about pavement cars and his cars. And it was like just a really good guy. Like, he was just a normal guy like the rest of us. And, but very driven and focused. And, for that to happen is terrible. And it shows, I think it showed really too how strong and, how tough he was to be that sick and let yourself get to that point, because you are so tough. He just physically just kept digging. So, just horrible. And I'm like you, it was almost like, Mother Nature was just kind of crying for everybody. Like, it just, that moment though, before the Cup race, like, we have talked on this show, NASCAR needs somebody to step up. NASCAR needs somebody to step up. Steve O'Donnell did it, like, in the toughest situation. Like, I felt like that's just, and somebody said this, and it really makes sense too. Like, when we lost Tony Roper, when you lose Dale Earnhardt, like, you had a wreck, and you knew at that wreck, when we lost Dan Weldon years ago, like, you knew Dan was gone. You knew Dale Earnhardt was gone. Like, it was like, you knew in the hour or two after that wreck, you knew he was gone. Well, we got up Thursday. We were at the racetrack, unloaded. I literally had, Ellison had drawn for our starting position or our qualifying order at Lucas Oil Speedway, and my phone just, like, 4 messages, boom, boom, boom. And knew, I'd read like everybody else that he was sick, and everybody's wanting to know what's going on. And the weird part was I saw a couple things about 30 minutes before that he had passed away. I'm like, man, people need to quit putting crap like that on the internet. Like, you can't do that. Like, they should get on. And that's immediately what you think, Kyle Busch just died. And I'm like, you can't put that on the internet. Like, and somebody just want to be the first to post a story, there's chicken crap, yada, yada, yada. Well, then the next thing you know, 30 minutes later, you get NASCAR puts that out. And the whole pit area, even at Lucas Oil Speedway, was just in shock. Like, everybody there was just shocked. And then, for Steve O'Donnell on Sunday, to say the things he said and do that, and Samantha and Kyle's, Brexton and Lennox and all those, like, what they were, the whole family, for them to have the courage to stand out there in front of, racing is a family. Like, we all fight amongst ourselves, but we are a big family. And I can't imagine what they're going through, and just pretty shocking, really, really was.
Been a shocking year. This follows the Greg Biffle death in the plane crash. Yeah, the racing world's been through a lot, short track world too. We all lost Scott Blomqvist a couple of years ago. And then like Biffle was just kind of the NASCAR side, but then you lose Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is, even though he's a cup driver, was just a short track racer. It felt like too, he's just kind of one of us. So, just a sad day. And like you said, we were all so excited about the news that broke Tuesday afternoon about Larry that it stinks that, next week's show we'll pretty much be able to hit on Larry a lot about that and everything that happened there. But it just kind of takes the winds out of everybody's sails, because you're just like, how does this happen? And the Coca-Cola 600 ends prematurely due to rain. 27 laps left to go. I don't know if many people picked Daniel Suarez to be declared the winner of that race. Pretty cool, though. Kyle Busch's last truck win was in the 7 truck for Spire, and Spire bought the old KBM shop and bought his truck team and bought the shop. So that car that won come out of the KBM shop. What was the KBM shop, and Suarez had talked a lot all week about how much Kyle had helped him get through things, and they made a good pit call. And
to his credit, he held off 2 late race restarts. Like, he didn't just pit and the rain come out. Like, he made they earned that win. But pretty neat to see that somebody with that much influence that Kyle had got a win there.
Yep. Denny Hamlin right in the mix again for that, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I kind of wanted Denny, I wanted Denny to win. I did not know this stat till heard it yesterday that Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch have more races together as teammates and like way more than anybody in history. And, they went through a lot together. And it was interesting to hear Denny say that they became better friends after they were teammates. That kind of shocked me a little bit, but, they were pretty close or very close. And, I thought Denny's kind of the old guard there and Kyle had become part of the old guard. He was 41 and wanting to keep racing just for his kid, but it's just hard to imagine that this 41's young and for that to happen, just horrible.
Well, I've found out at age 67 when you're not feeling good, I go to urgent care. So try to take care of yourself the best you can.
And a lot of us, like Kyle and I are basically the same age, and like I look at it like, they said it was a sinus infection. He just kept going. Well, I've done that. We had to cancel a show because I lost my voice from that. Like,
yeah, I had that about 3 weeks ago.
Yes. And, I put it off for weeks and you're like, whatever, I'll be fine. I'll take some over the counter medicine, I'll be fine.
Tough it out.
Tough it out. And, he was in a simulator and passed out, in the simulator, like just, that's what you do. That's what you're grown up raised to do. It's just what you do. And sometimes you got to listen to your body. So if one thing everybody's going to take from that, I think is hey, go to the doctor and make sure you take care of things because you never know. Obviously he was healthy and for that to happen to him, it can happen to anybody.
Next NASCAR race going to be Sunday night at Nashville. So that'll be fun, won't it?
That'll be a good race. Big show for them. And, a lot of, like we talked about, there's a lot of regional races this weekend. National Tour-wise, Mansfield Motor Speedway opens back up. They've already had a couple of races, but this is their first National Tour race with the World of Outlaws going there this weekend. And I want to say it's 50, 75,000 to win as well. And then the Dream coming up at Eldora. So big weekend coming up there. I want to give a huge shout out. Jason Fager's got a win Friday night at Davenport. They've had just no luck at all this year, and it's good to see him back in victory lane. And then during the rain out Saturday night, we watched Fairbury, the Mars race Fairbury, and the show that Jason Fager and Ryan Unziger put on for the win, the battle. They raced their guts out and never touched. And the one thing about Jason Fager that, I hope people see this and they should replay this race over and over again. He had a chance to drive in there and fence Unziger to win that race coming to the checker. He could have done it and he didn't. And he drove in there and he drove in there deep, but he left him a line and they raced it out side by side, never touched and came to the checker. And Ryan would have raced him that way too. The amount of respect that those guys have for each other. That's why you love racing with guys like that. Like you have to race hard with respect. And, everybody was pretty good this weekend, about wheeling about not being complete, jerks running over each other. But you just see those guys racing for a win like that. It's just not, doesn't happen very often. The reality of that situation is they're smart enough to realize they have to race against each other 50 nights a year. You go and take him out for the win, you're going to make your next 40 nights miserable because he's never going to forget it. And you're never, he's going to get you back 2 or 3 times before you're going to feel like you're even if you're on the other end. So it was cool to see them race that hard, never touch for the win. And a big shout out to them. And those guys they're the best on bull rings for a reason. And Illinois is tough, man. The Show Me 100 was 2 Illinois guys out front battling it out. And same thing, like Bobby never hit anybody. Bobby came through the field and passed 19 cars and he passed them clean. Like he he did a good job of really just. Bobby kind of gets a rap sometimes, and I think a lot of it he does to sell T-shirts, which is fine. Like, it's good for him, but he just done a hell of a job of not hitting anybody and just going to the field and taking care of his race car to where it was there at the end, because he knew when he needed it at the end of the race, it would be right there for him. So good for him, and pretty cool weekend. And another shout out to Garrett Alberson. Glad to see he was okay. That was a violent wreck Friday night. And that heat race and traction flip looked a lot like Tony's wreck at Arrowhead there, but kind of makes you wonder what if we can do something to our cars to not have, there's nothing you can do, because you got to have traction on the right rear to go as fast as they're going right now. But that is something that if we don't change a couple things, you're going to see that more and more. That wasn't a racetrack issue. It was just a lot of grip, and it rained, and everything was tractioned up and really ready to go, and the track's juiced up, and if you make it fastest way around there, and he's going the fastest way he could around there, and it just biked up, and then you're along for the ride. So glad to see he was okay, and be able to have a strong rebound, almost won the feature later that night, and had a good strong run in the finale on Saturday night.
Off week for I-44 Speedway. They're back to work on Saturday, June 6th. So that's something to put on your calendar. That'll be a faster pastor race that night, and a lot of good activities going on. A
lot of good stuff going that night. Middle school night there I saw as well. So we'll be in Iowa that weekend. And then but I-44's got back-to-back weeks, and I think they're off. And then the big 4th of July show. So a lot of racing coming up. June's always a busy month, and really packed Memorial Day weekend. And another shout out to Wheatland, to everybody at Lucas Oil Speedway for getting that in. But fun weekend, and we'll get to work and be ready to go for Davenport a week from Friday.
Enjoy baseball with Braden, and we'll talk to you again next week.
See you next week.
That'll do it for today's BW3 podcast, brought to you by Schaefer's Oil and Alligator Performance, presented and distributed by Swino Visuals.